Hello, everybody, and welcome back to All Things Football. Ibs and myself, we've been away for a long time, but we're back and we're back in force. I'm a working man, and Ibs is a hard-working third-year university student. So you're gonna have to cut us a little bit of slack, especially around exam time for Ibs. But look, we're back. COVID is back. We've got a new variant since we've been away. And I feel like it's taken its toll on the Premier League. Manchester United's away match against Brentford, which was due to kick off, I think, 15 minutes ago, got postponed. Not sure when the games will be played again, but that's the only game that's been postponed so far this week. We've got a few big games. We've got Manchester City versus Leeds. We've got Arsenal versus West Ham. And I think it's Leicester versus Tottenham or Tottenham versus Leicester. I can't remember who the home team is. All midweek games, all streamed on BT Sport. I'm kind of excited. I love the midweek games, and I especially love the fact that every single one of them is on the TV. I'm just kind of annoyed that the only game that's called off is my team.
Game. Yeah, exactly. That was literally the game I was looking forward to today. I was literally gonna order some food, watch the game, but now I'm gonna have to order food and watch City versus Leeds. At least I'll be watching Dan James again on the right. And that's one of
my winger
favorite players.
The Welsh wizard.
I'm studying biochemistry. But yeah, I mean there's still a game to look forward to. Arsenal West Ham tomorrow, Leicester Spurs on Thursday, and obviously on the weekend there's Spurs Liverpool on Sunday. So there are quite a few games.
Do you say Spurs Liverpool?
Yeah. Sunday.
Leicester Spurs and Liverpool Newcastle.
What?
Wait, what? Wait.
I'm talking about Sunday.
I'm talking about Thursday.
Thursday. Liverpool, Newcastle. They're gonna win, obviously. Then I'm talking on the weekend. Yeah, weekend. And obviously Chelsea are playing Everton tomorrow as well.
But I just want to mention one thing. One question: should Manchester United be docked 3 points? No, because then many teams will be docked points. I don't think there's
not scared.
You know,
scared.
I've heard people say that. Not that we should be docked 3 points, but we should have some sort of action taken against us because apparently there's no actual team players who have been testing positive for COVID. Apparently it's just like the staff, so like the coaches or whatever. It's still COVID and it's still in the club. If you're gonna have the staff members, what was it? Contracting COVID? What is the word?
Yeah, they've contracted COVID.
They've contracted
Tested
COVID.
Positive.
Yeah, they're to train the team. You'd have to put the players in danger. I guess I just don't think that's a risk that's really worth taking. I know people might think of it as, oh, you're a footballer. If you get COVID, you'll be fine in a couple of days. But they're still normal people. It can have an impact on different people differently. So I can understand why we would request the game to be postponed, but at the same time, just looking at it from the other side, it's kind of annoying because we have a squad of 30 players, and because you didn't train for 1 day, you're not ready. That's the confusion I think that some people have. I personally didn't want it to be called off, but if it meant that we can play the next game where nobody has COVID, then cool. I'd rather do that than play against Brentford. 5 people, 6 people get COVID, then you're off for a couple of weeks. I'd rather that. I'm playing on the weekend.
I mean, same thing happened to Spurs over the weekend. Their game was postponed. Even their Europa Conference League game, got postponed midweek. I mean, that's a tournament. That's a competition that apparently they could get kicked out of. Maybe I don't know.
Kicked out?
I don't know. I saw something along those lines, but I don't know. Let me just quickly search that. But
that would just be absolutely amazing, wouldn't it? If Spurs got kicked out of the Conference League, the competition they were supposed to win, 7 players with COVID. That's a lot, and that's not something I'd want to happen to Manchester United because effectively it means your first team players aren't going to be able to play, and they might spread it to the rest of the squad. So then everyone has to take a couple of weeks off.
Yeah, but yeah,
but Spurs
aside from that, I feel like. I think personally believe that Brentford would have been a tough game. Anton believes that maybe would be comfortable maybe, but I was actually scared for the game today, just because of the way Brentford play, the way we've been playing in the past few games. Yeah, we just got a 1-0 win at Palace. It was a good performance actually against Palace. Deserved more goals, but then on the weekend just gone, that was a very, very, very poor game. But yet we got a pen and won the game, which overall that matters, 3 points. But it was such a poor game. I don't know what you thought about it, Anton.
It was absolutely disgusting. The fact we played Norwich, you know what it is? Like, we usually beat Norwich, but for whatever reason we struggle. I say we struggle like we didn't score 4 or something. When I'm just remembering a Pereira to Martial pass or something. We might have scored 4 or whatever, but we seem to struggle against a team like that parks their bus right on the edge of the area. And especially under Dean Smith, look, they're more compact, they're better defensively, and they're better when they have the ball, the times they do have the ball. I think they had 48% possession. I know it's not more than us, but it's too close. It's too close for comfort, especially against the side, pretty sure that bottom of the league. Look, I'm hearing people jokingly, maybe hopefully jokingly, say Ranieri's going to fail because of that match. I mean,
people are quick to judge, so we wouldn't be surprised if they're obviously getting on his back already.
It's very reactionary. I mean, you've got a manager there who came in for the first game against Palace, and it was a whirlwind. And in the 60th minute against Palace or something, you could see the players tired out. They dropped off a lot in terms of their intensity. We played against young boys in the Champions League, played a youth squad / Deadwood squad, I guess. It just didn't work out. I think maybe that was a bit of a mistake, because then you come into the Norwich game with 11 different players, and then after a week off, I don't really think this is a really good excuse, but you're not going to be as sharp, especially when you play for Manchester United, when you're used to playing 2 games a week, when you have that long week off, because it is going to be a long week. When you start running on that pitch again, it just feels a little bit heavy. That's not an excuse for the way we performed, because players weren't completing passes.
Surely he should be energized, revitalized after having a game off, almost a week off. Surely I expected them to be fresh, ready for the game, up for the game, maybe score a few more goals, because obviously last game they played very well. The press from the front was very good. As if that Crystal Palace game took a lot out of them, and they haven't recovered yet. Because
that's what it looked like.
That press was not the same, though. It was nothing. It was just not the same as against Crystal Palace. And obviously, they outplayed us, as Big Ron says. They actually passed the ball through us, and they obviously, if it wasn't for David De Gea, amazing. God, yeah. If it wasn't for him, Norwich could have won the game. But that's really could have won the game.
But that's the thing. I think playing against a team like Palace, they're a more, what would you say? They're more attacking than Norwich. Effectively, they played into our hands. I don't really think you can press the way Manchester United pressed against Crystal Palace against Norwich. You would have had to approach the game a little bit differently, because Crystal Palace, they're more open than Norwich. Norwich are passing the ball 2 and 3 yards most of the time. I don't think you can squash that out. I think you can, I say, it's a gegenpress, isn't it? You can do that gegenpress where you keep that 4-2-2 formation and suffocate someone when there's a lot of space. But when the whole team is effectively there, I just think it's a little bit different. We shouldn't have been that bad. Look, I'm making excuses because I support the team, but we shouldn't have been that bad. Big Ron says there some players could not even control a ball. That's the type of stuff that you can't make an excuse for, because you're a professional footballer. You make a couple million a month and you can't control the football. Pitch might have been bad, but you've played on worse pitches and you've been able to control it. I will say, though, I don't think that the players are not playing for the manager, because I've been hearing a lot of things. It's definitely not that. I just think they had a bad day at the office at the end of the day. We still got the win, luckily, and I do believe it was a penalty. We still got the win.
It definitely was, yeah.
Yeah, he dragged him down. Look, Max Aaron's is what, 5'7" something. Ronaldo's 6'2".
It was a shame, because Max Aaron's was having a great game.
Yeah,
and obviously that one mistake, one error against the best in the world, and he's obviously going to score the penalty. Obviously, Tim Krul, last time we were there, he saved 2 penalties from Martial and Rashford in the same game.
But I'm always scared against Krul.
Yeah, but Ronaldo just, he does what he does gets the goal, even though Ronaldo didn't have a great game. Gets the goal, win the game, and we move on. Problems under Oli are still there. Ralph too scared to sub Bruno, Rashford, sacrifice Sancho, still no Donny team. I just decided to come off Twitter because when I used to tweet, we'd lose. So let me just stop tweeting before games. Let me just actually watch the game and try and enjoy it, and not even tweet during the game. So I thought in my head, why is Sancho off? I actually tweeted this at the end of the game. Sancho came off. Rashford stayed on the pitch. That is a essay question. How
6 marks?
How is
it 6 marks?
6 marks? But that's more than 6 marks. Tell me how that actually happened. How was Rashford still on the pitch? Surely you take off Rashford, bring on Greenwood. Maybe you take off Bruno, bring on Van der Beek earlier. But still, we can't be in the same mentality as under Oli. Just because Oli treated the players like he did doesn't mean Ralph has to do the same. So I think I need stuff to change. McFred as well continues.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what I really think it is? Like, it goes more into the politics of the club. I think, along with Maguire, there's something in his contract that requires him to play a certain amount of matches, a certain percentage. Same with Rashford, because I don't know how he's still starting games. And then you have Bruno Fernandes. Look, Fernandes, since he's been here, he hasn't improved, but 100 games, 79 goals and assists. Whether you like him or not, he's by far and away our most.
Actually, say it again. Say it again. I want to hear that stat again. That's actually
100 games in his first 100 games, he has 79 goals and assists. Like, it's ridiculous.
That is actually crazy.
He's like Marmite. I personally don't understand why there's such a divide with Bruno Fernandes. He hasn't had the best past few weeks, but he's had one of the best ever past 2.5 years, isn't 1.5 years? What is it? First 100 games, whatever, how long it is. He's been our most important player, our best player, our most clutch player, the best player we have in the squad, the most reliable player. He's been everything for us. So look, he deserves to get dropped now because you have to maintain a certain level of standards, and I think you have to set an example for the rest of the players. I know you've been our most important player, but you're not performing at the moment, and Sancho's performing. Donny could perform if he got a chance. I mean, Donny's chance could have been tonight. Well, yeah, we won't know because Bruno's definitely going to play in the next game now. He might have been dropped tonight. Rashford shouldn't play. I can't answer.
We need to see Ronaldo and Greenwood, because Greenwood shone in the game against Young Boys, deserved to start really against Norwich. But now Brighton on Saturday, we need to see Ronaldo and Greenwood. Or if it's not Ronaldo, well, Ronaldo probably will start. Ronaldo and Greenwood. I want to see that up front.
Yeah,
I don't want to see Rashford. Yeah, that with maybe Van der Beek, and you could even play Van der Beek and Bruno, but obviously Sancho probably doesn't deserve to be dropped, but obviously Bruno deserves to be dropped. So that we need to experiment different combinations of players, see how it goes. Obviously, he's only had 2 games in charge, so we can't necessarily get on his back. But obviously, we're seeing, as Big Ron says, we're seeing the same things as we've seen under Oli so far, but it's only 2 games.
He says there, you're only as bad as your last game. Let's not back too far with the stats. Our best player is David De Gea, not Bruno. At this moment in time, yes, David De Gea has been one of our best players. He's keeping us in games. He's making saves like he was making. All I can think about is that double save against Arsenal at the Emirates. First Lacazette and then the rebound from Sanchez. He's making saves like that. And that's the form I want to see De Gea in. That's the form that had him as the best keeper in the world. And I don't think he's going to become the best keeper in the world again, but he's going back up to a certain level, which we would expect from someone like him. He's one of the best shot stoppers we've had. I mean, he's one of the best shot stoppers in the Premier League, one of the best shot stoppers in Europe. But I would still say Bruno was our best player, because if it was as easy as that, then you'd have there would be no Salah would be the best player in the world right now, but in next week it might be Karim Benzema, it might be Andre Gomez the week after because he's done something ridiculous. You know what I mean? It would change too much. I don't think De Gea is our best player, but at the moment he's performing the best, and he's just the most informed player we have at the moment.
I mean, he's usually in form when we're not playing well. That's how it works. And then when we're playing well, he's not. I guess maybe lack of concentration. When we're playing well, he doesn't really need to pull off the top saves. But then when we're not playing well, he needs to pull off the saves so that we at least get a point or get 3 points, just as we did on the weekend. And it says Ronaldo plus Greenwood, Rashford, Sancho in the midfield role. So you're saying doing Rashford and Sancho in the midfield role? Rashford, he cannot play that role. I'm telling you now. He can only play wing or striker. He cannot play in midfield.
Rashford will be slapping shots from 45 yards out. I'm telling you.
No, I doubt it. Rashford's actually eased on shooting. I wanted him to shoot more, but he's eased. I don't know why.
It doesn't look as confident. Is it? Yeah, sorry. I don't know what it is with Rashford, but over the past year or something, is it just me? And I'm sent to the comment section as well. Does he just look less interested? Even when he scores a goal, there's no sort of emotion. Like a couple of years ago, he scored a goal, he'd be pulling on the badge, kissing it.
I think it's hard to say because he's been injured. He's been out injured. Injuries change your mentality, change your mindset. And maybe if you start in a different way, he's probably obviously been impacted from being out for such a long time, then coming in, playing injured. He's had a lot of time playing injured, playing through injury, being out, coming in the Euros, he hardly played, comes on, misses a pen. That still plays in his mind. Still plays in Saka, Sancho, all their minds, but obviously it's different how different players deal with it differently. That's the problem. Frozen TV says Rashford has lost the hunger, given too much too early.
See, I
think it's hard. We need to see if he can be coached to be the player that we believe he is. Because yes, in one sense you can say he's been given too much too early. He got all the success. He carried us. Remember that season when behind closed doors, him and Martial, mainly him before Bruno came. Before Bruno, Rashford carried us. He carried our team, and then Bruno came in. Rashford was still there, but he actually carried us. That's what we need to see from him again. Maybe he feels like he doesn't need to be that player anymore. Maybe that's why he looks like he's not interested, because he's not the star man. He doesn't need to be the star man. Maybe he feels like he can just do the bare minimum or just work hard and not do the best, not be the best in the team. Maybe that's the reason.
I thought Bruno was a.
Dane says, I think he looks less excited because of the position we are in as a club, or maybe because he feels he hasn't reached his full potential. But surely if he hasn't reached his full potential, he needs to be working harder to get there, or be trying to get there. Because of injuries, Rashford's an easy target, played too much with injuries. Yeah, he's come back, give him time. He will come. Yeah, I believe he will definitely become good. And yeah, he was top goal scorer last season.
It wasn't. It was Bruno Fernandes.
Was it Bruno?
Yeah, Bruno Fernandes was our top scorer last season. Before that, it was Martial with 23 and Rashford with 22. Look, Rashford's been a very consistent performer. He had 34 or 32 goals and assists. In one of the seasons, he was ravaged with injury. Look, he's a very productive player. I'm just talking about what I'm seeing visually from him. What Pros Only TV said there about it looks like he's lost his hunger. I don't think he's lost his hunger. I can't really tell you what I even think is happening to him mentally, because you have to think about footballers are just not footballers. You've got normal human beings, and it just so happens that Marcus Rashford does a lot off the pitch. I'm not saying when he's running down the wing and after he scored a goal, he's thinking about what he's going to tweet up to Boris Johnson later on. But stuff lays heavy on the mind. And it just looks like he's less happy, just in general. I don't see him speak as much in public. I don't see him, when he scores a goal, there's no like smile. There's no even a celebration. It's just that's literally what it is, and that's
maybe it's about maybe enjoyment of the game.
A lot of footballers
that can
don't
be a factor.
finish. Yeah. Look, David Bentley, when he was 29, he retired. He said he just lost the enjoyment. He didn't enjoy it. He didn't like the training. He didn't like the routine. There was another one. He played left back for Germany and Hamburg. After he left Hamburg, he retired because that was just it. Like, he was done. He couldn't see himself playing for another team, so he was done. If he had a proper love for the game, maybe you'd carried on somewhere else. But I think you might be right. I think Rashford's had a few ankle injuries. What do you think of Ronaldo's body language? Ronaldo's body language has been like that since day dot. I remember I watched the video.
I think that's why he's the best player in the world.
Yeah, there was a
some
video.
Some players can be like that and yet still perform. Not everyone can be like that. That's the problem.
He's so
people try and have egos and try and be that player where, oh, if he scores, I'm unhappy, but then you don't score either, so then you can't be that guy. But Ronaldo, he can be that guy.
Yeah,
he can be unhappy that he's scoring 2 goals, but then Ronaldo come and score 3. That's the difference.
Look, Ronaldo isn't gonna be angry that someone else scored the winning goal. There was an online inquest from Twitter football fans or whatever, and Ronaldo actually came out explaining why he does this. See, if Ronaldo doesn't score, he'll put his arm up. You'll notice it every single time he puts his arm up. And he says the reason he does that is to make sure with the linesman that the goal is onside or that the goal stands. That's why he doesn't really run off celebrating with the other players because his arm's up because he's checking. That's what he says.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think Ronaldo's body language is anything to be worried about. I mean, he's carrying us this season in terms of getting the goals and the amount of winners he's already scored. I think it's 4 or isn't it 6 match winners already this season in all competitions. Ronaldo can be as unhappy as he wants as long as he carries on scoring those winners. I'm happy. But he's been like that since he was at Real Madrid, since he was at Manchester United before.
Always. He's just a different mentality. You can't compare Ronaldo's mentality. People can try and emulate him. And if you emulate him and don't produce the goods, that's when it can look like you're just disinterested. Your body language isn't the correct thing. But lots of players get questioned on their body language. And it's something that many coaches, maybe in lower league football as well, who they might not even select a player because they feel his body language is showing that he doesn't care. But then that player can still, I don't get it. Players can still have the potential, can still be good enough to play at higher levels, but their body language, we always question Martial, his body language, but he's always like that. He scored, 24 goals that season, but he still had that body language. So I don't really get that term in football. Maybe if he had an attitude problem, but they always try say body language, attitude problem. But I'm sure Martial probably didn't have that at the time. He just had body language. Coaches will probably tell you maybe he didn't have an attitude problem. It's just the way he is. You can't really change the way someone is necessarily. Maybe it's an English. Maybe it's an English thing, like in English football. Maybe obviously in Spain, Portugal, that's just the way it is. If someone uses the ball, you're gonna wave your arms out. In the UK, you can't do that. You can't do that in English football. Coaches won't play you for showing your emotions and stuff like that. But it's very common in like South American countries and stuff like that.
I hear that.
But moving on to English football and English footballers, I'm going to talk about Jack Grealish, the most expensive player. Most expensive English player, £100 million. Where did the £100 million go? City could have saved that money and got Haaland next season. Why? I mean, they probably will still get Haaland, but why they spend 100 million on Jack Grealish? 6 marks. Why did they spend that money? What has he brought to the club? What has he brought to Man City?
So 70 million of that actually went to Aston Villa. Okay. I think Luckhurst tweeted it the other day. I can't even keep a straight face. Luckhurst tweeted it the other day. 70 million of it went to Aston Villa. And then what they did with the rest of the 30 million was send him to Brazil, and they gave him BBL, but they gave it to him in his calves, innit?
Now tell me what. I was drinking my water and hearing BBL on his calves. I wasn't even listening properly. And I hear BBL on his calves.
they call it BCL, Brazilian calf lift. And what that does, I tried so hard to keep a straight face. Yeah, he's wasted. I don't need 100 million because he's English, and we have an English tax. And I'm happy. I'm happy that it didn't happen to us. I'm so happy that we're not the suckers.
Yeah,
Manchester City, they got.
I'm actually happy about that.
Aston Villa are rolling around in that money. Oh gosh!
Like I'm thinking, if we actually sign Grealish, what would he do to our team? And if we then end up getting Ralph right now, as we have him now, what is his role? What would his role be in the team? Because at City, he's a rotation player. You know, on FIFA career mode, you put the role, you specify the role that you want the player to be. They probably wrote down crucial first team player, but then he's really a squad rotation player. Because Pep doesn't mess around. If you're not the one, Pep will put you on the bench, and Pep doesn't care that the owner spent 100 million on him. Pep doesn't care. Pep will be like, oh, he'll be in the squad. We'll still win the games. He'll just be a squad player. And that's
just. Do you think he's unhappy?
Of course he is. Of course he is. If you've been bought for 100 million and you're on the bench, tell me, would you be happy? No, you wouldn't. It's
but
simple.
Think about
of course, he's not happy.
He was at a team battling for relegation, but now he's at a team battling for the Champions League. Do you think him being the captain and the star man at Aston Villa battling for relegation is worse than him being? He does play a lot. It's not like he sits on the bench for 10 matches. Bailey makes an appearance. Do you think him being a rotation / first team player for Manchester City, who are battling for every trophy, is going to leave him as unhappy? Like, he wouldn't have gone there thinking, yeah, I'm going to play every minute of every game. He's not even De Bruyne doesn't play every minute of every game. You don't go into a club like that blind.
He's been injured there. De Bruyne would start more games.
The only players that play every minute of every game are the defenders, and that's kind of normal in every team. You got Diaz, even his partner doesn't play every minute, but you got Kyle Walker and Cancelo, and that's it. Edison obviously as well. The rest of the team, especially at Manchester City, is amazingly rotated. You've got Cole Palmer's even coming now, so they have even another option. Phil Foden has been one of the best young English players recently, but he's not playing as much as he would like to be this season. You've got Jack Grealish, most expensive English player of all time, not playing as much as he would like. You've got Sterling, just reached 100 Premier League goals. Probably Manchester City's best attacker, I think, not playing as much as he would like. Mahrez probably playing the most. Gundogan, amazing last season, not playing as much. Rodri is another mainstay. He's like the anchor of the team. Everybody else around him, they're rotated. Jack Grealish would have. He's not naive. Footballers aren't naive. They have agents, they have scouts, they have former managers, they have the new manager that they're talking to. They would have been given information by at least 7 or 8 different people. And if they were all telling him, mate, you're going to play every match, you're going to play every minute of every match, and now he isn't, then he has to take a look at himself. But he would have definitely been made aware of the fact that probably not going to play every minute of every match, but you could do if you exceed our expectations. I think Manchester City is a bit of a unique place in terms of their talent pool and their manager who loves to rotate.
I do get that obviously he's gone from a team from relegation to a team now in every competition, apart from obviously the Carabao Cup at the moment, but every competition apart from that, competing to win every competition. So, but at the same time, price tag is a price tag. There's still pressure on him to be in the starting 11. Imagine now you're on the bench and you're on the bench with all these other players and people are looking at you. Media's looking at you. The world is looking at you. You're the guy who's probably meant to be the most expensive player, but you're on the bench. That's the way I see it. Because nowadays everyone looks at price tags. If Pogba is always getting scrutinized, why can't I scrutinize Jack Grealish?
But you see with Jack,
yeah,
you see with Jack Grealish, I personally don't think he's any better than Phil Foden, Raheem Sterling, Riyad Mahrez, Gabriel Jesus, Kevin De Bruyne. I think those are the other 5. I don't think he's any. If anything, he's down at the bottom of that list. I don't know. 100 million is 60 million plus English tax, plus you've just taken our captain, plus you have a lot of money and we know it. 60 million max Jack Grealish was worth because of his value to the team. And then obviously you have to pay all the different taxes, but he's not any better than any of the other 5 attackers that they have. So I don't think it's really a shock. Even before he was at Manchester City, when he was getting linked, was like, oh, what is he going to do there? I said many times, I can't really... Even the kit, like, he doesn't look good in the kit. Like, he doesn't look good in that team. Like,
It's
nothing.
The cars don't fit in the socks.
Trust me.
They should have made custom-made socks.
They need to give him a skirt or something. Just leave the socks alone because his calves are way too big.
I'm going to quickly go through the comments. There's been quite a few. Starting from this one. Look how much energy Bruno wastes with his reaction to decisions he doesn't like from the ref. Put that much energy into keeping possession, we might do something. But that's just something he's grown up doing. Again, that's how in their culture, we can't really coach that out of someone because that's their culture. That's how they've been brought up since the age of like 5, 6. It's quite hard. And maybe he's got to learn that maybe it doesn't work in the UK, but you never know. You can keep trying because sometimes refs get influenced by you always getting in their face. That's just the way it is. Refs are human, so you never know. Was Lukaku as investment for Chelsea? Obviously, Chelsea needed a striker. Lukaku is probably the best fit for them at the time. He's had a few injuries. I don't really want to judge Lukaku because he's been injured. People are getting onto him, but I just give him time again. He's been injured. That's why he's on the bench. He's obviously still getting back from injury. I will judge him at the end of the season. And again, I'll probably judge Grealish at the end of the season. But right now, Grealish, no. Lukaku, I think Lukaku, it will still be a wise investment for Chelsea.
I'd say 20 to 25 goals Lukaku will finish on by the end of the season. Once he gets into the groove of it. He's still got those Timbs on though. Like he scores goals, but those still cap Timberlands cannot control the ball. And he's got those Levi jeans.
Just come back from the construction site. And now he's at the game. 2 jobs.
He's got those jeans with starch in them.
Lukaku and Grealish have had to combine 7 goals. But Lukaku has just been injured. You can't really... Was Sancho a wise investment? Of course, Big Ron, you're questioning Sancho. And yes, I'm sure you've seen it. I'm sure you know that Sancho is only getting started. He's only getting started. He's finally in passing games as well. Finally.
Yeah. And he's doing
stuff. You know stuff is going to happen. United needs someone like Jack, a ball carrier, dribbler. We have no players like Sancho doesn't really stick on players. Not every team has a dribbler. You can still just pass. Not every team does.
Chelsea don't have a dribbler, do they?
You just pass the ball. It's simple. You don't need someone to run for your team when you just play 1-2s.
That's what Sancho does.
Stretch teams fast. You don't need to be dribbling. Yeah. Sancho pass and move.
Yeah. Sancho would run a triangle around someone, give and go. It's so much more effective. You just have to
rather than wasting one person's energy because they want to always run up the pitch. Maybe if that's the tactic you're looking for, but I'm sure Ralph. I don't think he plays like that. Maguire was 80 million. No. I can agree with you here. I have not seen that money. I haven't seen it. I don't know. We'll get onto him, but then he'll have a good game. But then he'll have a few bad games.
Yeah, it's so annoying. It's just inconsistency.
I don't get it because he'll have the ball, and then he plays good passes. Like he'll play through lines. He's looking for the pass through lines, and that's what we want to see from a centre back. But defensively, sometimes it's just not being consistent for a long period of time. That's the problem. Maybe he gets complacent and then slips up. because he hasn't got any competition. But now Varane's here, but obviously Varane's been injured, so that's
because of Oli. Varane is not an injury-prone player. He got injured, which is normal for a player, and then he got rushed back. So whatever happened is now worse. But today, Sky Sports Germany. I mean, it's not something I really want to happen, but it's reported, so we're gonna I guess react to it.
The news.
Sky Sports Germany have linked Manchester United to Germany and Chelsea defender Antonio Rudiger. His contract is up at Chelsea at the end of the season. A few weeks ago, he was looking to become the highest paid defender in Europe. Look, when that comes into it, that's why I think
we're linked
to Rudiger.
That's a no.
But
I mean, we're always linked to players anyway.
We're always linked to players, but this makes a lot of sense. We do need a very good centre back. I think he's good quality. I think he's a system player and he suits the Tuchel system very, very well. I think put him maybe under Oli, he might have been exposed, but under a better manager who's a way better coach than Oli, he might actually do decent. I'm just thinking of a Varane and Rudiger partnership at the back. But the contract makes sense. If he's on 400k a week, makes sense, because if you were to buy him with 3 years left on his contract, you'd probably right now be paying around 50 to 60 million. You're paying nothing, so you have to make up for that in wages. And if you put him on a 4-year contract, because he's 28, 4-year contract with an option for an extra year, which we always do.
The age is a problem.
Backs are not young.
We literally just bought Varane. He's 29. That was
for the next
just
4
about
years.
Okay.
For the next 4 years, if you have a partnership of Varane and Antonio Rudiger, I don't think you can complain that much. The only thing I don't want to
get excited.
Like, look, he wants to be paid the highest paid defender, not the highest paid player, but the highest paid defender in Europe. I'm going to do some research now, but I think I read around £400,000 a week. No signing on fee, no
crazy
transfer fee. It makes sense. That
is crazy
what other teams are going to be able to afford him? Though? What team can afford that? We can afford that. We have players who have been on higher money than that shouldn't have been on that money. Sanchez, for example. The Gea is the highest paid goalkeeper.
I think it depends on who we clear out. If we clear out quite a few players, then I don't see why not play. Having a full, like next summer, having a full reshuffle of the squad, getting new players in, getting players out. I think you never know. Next question.
De Ligt is the highest paid on 400k a week. De Ligt gets 400k a week.
And he's at Juve, a struggling team. And he's 21.
Wait, that's wrong. That can't be right. I refuse to believe De Ligt is on.
There's no way that he can't be. Sorry, carry on. I'm gonna. But yeah, this question was Pogba worth 90 million. Was it a good investment? In the long run, no. That's simple. It's not being effective. Pogba. Man City have Mahrez, Silva, Jack, Foden, all dribblers. We have none. We do. We have players like who can. Depends what you mean by dribblers, because we have players who can dribble. Sancho can definitely dribble. Rashford can. Does he do it? No. Who else? Martial can. Does he play? No. Who else?
Lingard.
Lingard, no. Who else?
I was reaching.
I think Greenwood, that's it. But we don't need that from Greenwood, really. So we can't really compare, because not all teams have players who need players. Many teams have players who can do it, but you don't necessarily need to do it depending on the system you play. Chelsea, they have dribblers in their team. Hudson-Odoi. Who else? Hudson-Odoi. Pretty sure most of their players, obviously, Reece James is definitely technically good enough to do that if he's playing on the right. They are players who can dribble, but their system doesn't enable them to do it or need to do it. As long as you can beat your man when you're 1v1, which I'm sure Rashford 1v1 can beat a man. Sancho can beat a 100%. Man. But Rashford doesn't do it. Sancho... He just can do it, but he prefers to be playing, as we said, 1-2s around players, or have like a third man run, slot them in like he did with Fred, who cuts it back for Bruno, who scored against Arsenal. It's about the team playing in the system. United are static. We have no movement for the player. Yeah, that's the problem. We don't. That's exactly what I was saying.
That's what it was like under Oli. Ranić, give Ranić a couple months. I'm saying by the time the round of 16 Champions League comes along, you're going to be playing a lot different to how we're playing now, and that's the one thing that I can like cling on to at the moment. We're still playing like we have Oli as the manager. Maybe that's because McKenna and Phelan are still there and they're talking to Ranić and about this and that. But he's been here 2 weeks, if that. I think people are just very, very quick to react. I think people look for a reason to say, "Oh, Ranić's rubbish. Manchester United are going to fail. They're still terrible." You know, it's Rudiger was signed for Madrid. I don't think they can pay him that though. They're in a lot of money issues as well.
Yeah, Madrid. I mean, I feel like Rudiger would want to go to a team like Madrid, but is it possible?
He wants to get. He's looking for 400k a week. Madrid definitely cannot pay that right now. 100% cannot pay that right now. Sancho does take players on. Like, he just does. He just does. Like, Sancho's not the fastest player on the pitch.
He is still fast.
He has been, but he's not slow.
He is still fast though. Yeah.
Well, I think when people think of dribblers, they think of Adama Traore, Raheem Sterling, Messi, Mbappe, Neymar. Sancho's not like them. He still can beat a man one-on-one. We've seen him do it many times. Like, all you have to do is go on YouTube and type in Sancho dribbling compilation. You have a 15-minute video of him just tearing players apart.
When you watch that, when you watch that, I'm just saying the amount of bodies that are dropped on the floor when you watch that. Just he needs time. You saw what he did against Nathaniel Klein in Crystal Palace game. He's the type of person who manipulates his body, not the ball. His body is what sends players. The ball stays where it is. So that's probably maybe what you think. It's because he's a different type of player, I think. Maybe something we haven't seen. Maybe Anton and I have seen in South London cages, but the Premier League hasn't seen a type of player like this. So it's very new.
My cage is near my house is just people banging shots from everywhere. There was no dribbling. I'm telling you now, there's no dribbling, no passing. It was just shooting. You see me play football at school. All I do is shoot.
Oh yeah,
that's because of the
my cage was obviously different. Like mine's different, but yeah, I mean it depends where. The next topic I actually want to go on to. Wait, let's see this comment. Real Madrid have a policy where they are snapping up the talent on a freeze. They admit they can't pay the most, but hope the Madrid factor will persuade them. Yeah,
that's a bit like us, kind of. We want the Manchester United factor that we seem to be losing a tiny bit.
The next topic was obviously staying at Man City at the moment. Is Raheem Sterling, another English player, 100 Premier League goals. This is being downplayed. It's not being spoken about enough. Raheem Sterling, 100 Premier League goals.
Why do you think it's being downplayed? Take a wild guess.
You know what? I think it's because the brand of his boots.
It's because of that damn tattoo on his leg. Oh,
Raheem messed up. It's that gunshot. Why? He messed up.
Raheem has been public enemy number one for a few years. He's dragged it back a little bit, but we all know why. Look, he's not a media favorite. He's not the favorite of the general public, and it's almost like people are saying, "Oh, 100 Premier League goals." I didn't realize how long he'd been in the Premier League for. By the way, he scored his first goal in 2012 against Reading, I think, at Anfield. That is 9 years, and he's only 26. He scored his first goal when he was 16 or 17. Like,
he's only 26. That's what gets to me. He's only 26. He's still so young.
Exactly.
And yet he's not at his best. He's far from his best, but he's a senior player in that City squad. He's a senior player. Even for England, he's a senior player. I don't know if he's vice captain or he's in the leadership role.
A lot. Yeah, at City, Fernandinho's the club.
He's 26 years old. I think he's
fourth in line, fifth in line.
I even forget that he's from London because he left London at such an early age from QPR to go to Liverpool, and he obviously had to mature quite quickly. And the way he silently got to this stage, but now it's where we need to speak about it because he's not getting the recognition that it deserves.
He's an
100 Premier League
extremely
goals is not easy, or doesn't.
he's an
Not many
extremely
players can do
underrated
that.
player. He definitely doesn't get the respect he deserves in terms of his footballing ability. You have some look, at the age of 16, you don't accidentally find yourself playing for Liverpool at the age of 16 isn't something like it. You can't compare it to you're breaking through at Bournemouth or you're breaking through at Leyton Orient. You're breaking through at one of the biggest clubs in the world and actually starting matches. He wasn't one every 10 matches. It was SAS and Raheem Sterling on the left. It was Raheem Sterling playing every single match at the age of 16, 17 for Liverpool in the Premier League. Like, he's such an underrated player. I think he got 14th or 15th in the Ballon d'Or this year. He fully deserves to be up there. And there was one year where he was only beaten by Messi in terms of his goals and assists. I think he had 65 a few years ago. Like, that's what I mean. That the agendas against him are so strong. When Salah posts 65 goals and assists in a year, people are going to be saying, "Oh, this guy is the best thing since Messi and his 91 goals in a year." Like, but when Raheem Sterling posts 65, no one ever speaks about it. It's he missed that goal from underneath the crossbar, so he's terrible. I love Sterling.
He's 100 goals per match, 0.33, 9 headed goals, 64 right foot, 27 left foot, 2 pens, 1 free kick. His shot accuracy is 41%. And a player like him, I think he needs to move. I want to be seeing him starting games he is still a key player at City, but then he's at City, it's a rotation. It doesn't matter who you are, it's a rotation-based team. I want to see him at a team where but I want to see him at a team where they're playing Champions League, they're competing for everything, but he's the key man, or not key man, but he's one of the key players. I want to see him in a team like that, but maybe Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. I want to see him at a team like that because people need to know his name more. Yeah, they know his name, but he needs to be up there, spoken about with. I feel like he can get to the level where he's spoken about with Mbappe's, Neymar's. He's doing better than Neymar, one would say. Neymar is obviously being spoken about a lot. Should be winning Ballon d'Ors and stuff like that. But Sterling, why can't Sterling do that? Why can't he be at that level? He's only 26. Neymar's what? 29? Neymar's 29, isn't he? Well, tell me why Sterling can't get to that level.
Neymar was different.
Neymar was different.
Neymar was like
he
closest
ripping
thing.
Guys.
No, Neymar was the closest thing to Messi and Ronaldo that you're gonna get in this generation. There's no one's. What? I kick Big Ron. I've had enough of you, Ron. I said Neymar overrated. Neymar overrated. Look, this is gonna get clipped.
Neymar is
not overrated. Boy,
Neymar he is an entertainer.
But with his
footballer, he's an entertainer.
He can also produce the numbers that only Messi and Ronaldo can produce. Like when Neymar was at Barcelona he was part of the best front three ever. And it wasn't like he was a bit part player. He was just behind in terms of numbers. He was just behind Messi, ahead of Suarez. What's Neymar done without Messi? Shagged his sister. That's what he's done without Messi. Without Messi, well, he has Messi now. Sterling needs to play for. Look, I don't think Sterling's going to win the Ballon d'Or.
But I'm saying he's to be up there because right now, being at City, he's not going to be able to show what he can show what he can do. But I feel like he can be like a starter, a guaranteed starter every game, being one of the main players. If you were to go to maybe a Bayern Munich, maybe a Real Madrid, and be the English player who is now the best English player in the world. Because who is the best English player in the world? He said Kane. Sterling can easily be that player. Kane is right now, but Kane is not producing it. He's at Spurs. No one cares. Sterling, if Sterling actually started every game at City, he could be that player. But I'm saying he needs to move to be that player because he really should be the best, or can be the best English player we have in the world.
We need to be careful how we speak about Sterling, because he starts out of the attackers, out of the rotation pit that they seem to have in the up front bit. Sterling starts the most. He's been their top scorer for the past couple of years. He's been the most important attacker for the past, 3 or 4 years. Like, even when Aguero was there, Sterling was the most important player. You know what team Sterling supports, right?
United.
Like, yeah, he supports United. There was a couple of years ago where we were tentatively linked to him. I was ready to cut all ties with Rashford. I was ready to cut all ties with him.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready for that.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
Snip, right now.
I'm ready. I'll take Sterling in, Rashford out. I'll take that right now.
Yeah, I'm at an age where I watched Ronaldinho. Like, I remember enough, not vaguely, but I remember enough.
Neymar does fit into that category with Neymar.
He definitely does. Yeah, 100. Maybe not Zidane. Zidane was crazy. I didn't watch.
No, Neymar.
I wasn't alive.
I've just seen stuff with Zidane, like doing.
Zidane was essential.
When I think of Zidane, I know that Pogba is someone he's based his game off Zidane. But
Neymar's a flying winger who will happily nutmeg you 5 times, knowing he can do it.
Neymar will rainbow flick you. He will stop the ball. That's the difference. The ball will go over your head.
That's the difference between that's the difference between Neymar and other people. Other players will try the nutmeg and think, "Oh, okay, let me try this." Neymar will try the nutmeg and think, "I know this is going to happen. Let me do this now. Then I'm going to do it to him 2 more times, embarrass him, rainbow flick him, get fouled, get up, rainbow flick him again, do that little flip thing he does." He's the confidence he has in his ability, because he knows the quality he possesses is not on the same level as other players. Even Neymar now isn't the Neymar he was 2 or 3 years ago, but he's still miles ahead of almost every other player on the planet. The Ballon d'Or rankings are not accurate. From when Jorginho's in the top 3, it's not accurate. For me, the best players in the world, the best footballers in the world, you've got Messi, Neymar, you've got Kevin De Bruyne. For me, those are the best footballers in the world. I don't think anybody comes close to them. But from Big Ron's comment there, from my life, I didn't see Cantona. Saw Henry when he was finishing, when he was leaving Arsenal and going to Barcelona and winding down. I saw Ronaldinho at Barcelona at the end and then moved to Atletico, and his decline was quite steep. One player you didn't put in there was Kaká. Kaká traumatized me. He was my op, but I couldn't get enough of him. When AC Milan were playing Manchester United, that's the game I remember when Kaká knocked it over Evra's head.
Destroyed the team.
It was Evra and Heinze, I think it might have been. Like, that's what I remember. Kaká, from that moment on, Kaká has been my favorite player ever. I love Kaká. You need to put him on that list. But Neymar laces all of their boots. Neymar's different. Neymar can do all the beach football stuff, the Brazilian flair, but he can also score 40 goals in a season.
It's true.
Henry is the only person there who can score 40 goals in a season, but he won't do the extra stuff. Yeah, he has those few skills. He has that pass thing when he pretends to kick it with his right and he kicks it with his left. He might not make you, but Neymar will embarrass you, make you cry, but also put it in the back of the net pretty much every single time.
Henry was. I just, to be honest, I only know Henry for his goal scoring ability, his skills.
Remember how young we are, innit? Like when Henry 03, 04 Henry that apparently should have won, or 2002-03 Henry that apparently should have won the Ballon d'Or. I was 4, 3. Ibs would have been maybe 2 or 3. We wouldn't. It's not something. When did Neymar? Let me pull up the stats.
He scored 40.
Neymar?
There's no way. Neymar scored 40 goals.
Not in the league, like all comps and stuff. Like,
really?
I'm 100% in his. Oh no, the best he scored was 34. You know what I'm trying to say though? Like,
he could be there. You're saying he potentially, but obviously he's never got there.
I'm looking at stats now.
The stats aren't good. His stats really aren't good. That's why I'm saying he's more of an entertainer than a.
Nah, these stats don't make sense.
He's still a footballer, but he's more of an entertainer. I think he knows that himself. He knows that himself. he's more of an entertainer at this point.
He scored over 400 goals in his career. These stats don't add up.
No, Neymar's not really that.
He scored over 400 goals in his career.
In terms of goal scoring, yeah, he scored quite a lot of goals, but recent years it's not been the same.
Yeah, he hasn't been. Neymar's never going to be able to reach the levels that he was at when he was at Barcelona. That's gone. That's something we have to accept. But his level now is still so much higher than 99% of every other players on the planet. As I said, he's the top 3 player in the world for me. What's it called? Messi, De Bruyne, and Neymar for me. Henry was getting cussed when he first came to the Prem. His first 7 games was tough. He was a winger, but Wenger turned him into a striker. Like, I was what, 90s? 98, 99? Didn't they sign him from Juventus after the 98 World Cup? I believe. I might be wrong.
Monaco, isn't it?
What, that won the league last year? I thought Arsenal signed Henry from Juve.
I have no clue.
I know he was at Juventus. Thierry Henry. He has children. Yeah, so he was at Monaco until 99. He was at Juventus at 99, like after Monaco. Then he went to Arsenal in 99 and played there for 8 years.
It says, Neymar guided PSG to the league last year.
I don't know what happened to PSG last year, but I'm happy that Lille won it. Well, not because it was Lille, but just because it was a different team than PSG. It was getting a bit boring. They're going to win it this year. I think they're like, 13 points ahead or something at this point. Jack Grealish, by the way, is starting for Manchester City tonight.
Yeah, Sterling's on the bench. We've been congratulating him, but he's on the bench. Another City player we're meant to congratulate on the other side of the pitch, Edison, also in the same game, 100 clean sheets already in the Prem.
See, that's crazy.
100 clean sheets. That is, how many games is that? Let me see how many games he's played in the Prem.
Big Ron, what do you think of Edison? Because Ibs is about to ask another question, but
my question, let me quickly check his stat before I ask the question. Then, okay. He has 100 Premier League clean sheets in... No, wait, what is that? Is it clean sheets?
How long has he been at City? 5?
I don't know.
Years?
I don't think it's Premier League clean sheets.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because he would have only played 150.
It's overall clean sheets.
How many Premier League games he played? 150.
Yes, it must be all competitions, because in the Prem it's 79 and there's 161 appearances in the Prem. But it must be all competitions, because there's no way it's just the Prem.
Yeah, that would have been
that
would have been ridiculous.
If it was that would have been crazy. But yeah, my question was, in terms of like footballing ability, who is better with their feet? Obviously, Edison or Neuer, because Neuer had been, he's the guy, sweeper keeper. You'll see clips on YouTube of Neuer dribbling in the other team's half and then playing through balls using the other team's half.
Remember the South Korea game?
Edison, he's so calm. You play out to him, he can play out the back. You can put Edison. I'm convinced you can put Edison in CM. You can play him centre midfield. The way he was ping it. How many assists? Let me quickly check his assists. He's got 2 assists as a goalkeeper.
Like
2 assists in the Prem as a goalkeeper.
I think he has 4 in his whole career. 4, maybe 5.
Because he has got a ping. He'll see a player making a run, and the ball will fall perfectly on their feet as they run onto it. That is, if we had a keeper who, because David De Gea cannot do it. He can't play from the back. He's not comfortable. But Edison, the way he strikes the ball, just ping it with pace and accuracy to the player's feet. And that is something that's very useful in this game.
Sorry, there's a match about to start.
Yeah, we'll quickly finish the stream.
You got John Stones at right back.
Ederson is better footballing goalkeeper, but not as a betting goalkeeper overall.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. But yeah, this match just kicked off, so I think we'll quickly summarize
Where's
the
Carl
stream.
Walker and Cancelo? That's annoyed me. I don't like it when centre backs play fullback. It really annoys me. It's not even my team.
Yeah, so Man City leads. Is Dan James starting?
Yeah, my guy James.
Yes, DJ, show us what
Dan James is scoring today.
What you are about.
Oh, they're playing 3 at the back.
Quickly to finish off, I'm going to quickly talk about this team here. PSG, UEFA. You guys, you tried it. I said it. I don't know what episode I said it in, but I said United are going to get PSG because UEFA are going to make it happen. Ronaldo, Messi, money. That's all they saw in their eyes. They saw money. They tried to rig it. I sent Anton the snap. I sent Anton a snap on Monday when it happened. And Anton was the one that told me that there was a problem. They had done it incorrectly. And the rest of the world clocked it. And UEFA were forced to do a redo. And now we're being drawn against Atletico Madrid. But UEFA, you guys are very sneaky. You tried it. And I'm sure it's going to happen in the future. When we beat Atletico, when PSG beat Real Madrid, is it Real Madrid?
Yeah, I think Real Madrid are going through, man. They're flying.
No, when PSG beat Real Madrid, when we beat Atletico, then we go Messi, Ronaldo. It's going to happen.
Messi back in the Bernabeu.
If you like it or not, it's going to happen. So,
yeah, it's not a coincidence that. Oh, let's go.
Yeah, no.
That's all right. It's I don't want to get fined by UEFA. I don't have Jude Bellingham's bank account, so I'm not trying to get fined.
No, say it.
You know what it is? Look, it's not a coincidence that Ronaldo was right about to join Man City and Manchester City got PSG in the group. And now that he's at Man United, we got PSG the first time round in the knockout round. Look, it's not a coincidence. They have to find a way to make it. Yeah, everything is about money. Look, the UEFA will know that the Super League almost probably happened. And the reason the Super League happened was because the Champions League is getting a bit boring, so they want to spice it up as much as possible. How do you spice it up? Get the 2 best players of all time to face each other, and that's just as simple as that. But they got the next best thing. They've got Messi back at the Bernabeu. PSG versus Real Madrid is probably going to be the tie of the round. So
yeah. But yeah. I think that's a good way to end the show. Thank you everyone for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hopefully we can be back this weekend for obviously the game before Christmas. And yeah, Man United not playing tonight, but we have Daniel James to look forward to watching tonight. So we'll catch you next time. Goodbye.
Bye guys.